Welcome to Stonham Bass. Stonham Bass are an accommodation and support service and have properties across England and Wales that could provide a home for the period of your bail or HDC licence. If you have no address to go to for the period of your bail or home detention curfew, also known as TAG, or an address that isn't suitable, Bass can help. We can also offer a support-only service where you can live in your own home if this supports your bail or HDC application. Each property has no more than 4 people living there at any one time, and you'd be sharing with other men only. For the period of your stay, you'd have your own bedroom, which can be locked for privacy, and full use of the communal areas, for example the living room, kitchen and bathroom. We can also offer you a property for your sole use if you have dependent children. This will be granted on a case-by-case basis. On arrival, your support officer will meet you at the house, go through an accommodation agreement and the house rules, and provide you with a welcome pack. We will also talk to you about your HDC or bail conditions to help you comply. Failure to comply with the house rules could be deemed as a breach of your agreement, and in that case, you would be returned to prison or court. If you are being tagged, an electronic monitoring provider will come to visit you to fit your tag within 24 hours. The welcome pack contains a basic mobile phone with £10 credit. A food pack will be provided to get you through the first 24 hours. A sufficient amount of toiletries to use during your first week of staying with Bass, and new bedding, towels and bed sheets. You must have 1 support session with Bass staff per week. However, sometimes the court will ask for additional support sessions as part of your bail conditions. Our main aim at Bass is to help you to adhere to your bail or home detention curfew conditions, and to help you find somewhere more permanent to move on to at the end of your bail or HDC licence. We can also help you to apply for jobs and find training to generally help you develop your skills. In order to be eligible to live in a Bass property, you must pay rent and a contribution towards utility bills during your stay. This can be paid through housing benefit or private means. If you need housing benefit, our staff will help you fill out the forms to claim. Our staff will help you to meet your appointments, for example with your offender manager, solicitor or doctor. Help you gain confidence, rebuild relationships with family and friends, and help you to set about rebuilding your life. To gain the best outcomes from your time with Bass, we ask you to engage fully with your support officer and make the most of the help available. If you use the Bass service whilst on bail, this is also an opportunity to demonstrate to the courts that you can behave responsibly and act as a law-abiding citizen.
I got involved with Stonham and Bass through Durham Prison. In my time in Durham Prison, I got to know about the Bass support network that was out there. If it wasn't for Bass, I'd still be in prison today and I'd still be serving the remainder of my sentence. Coming into Bass has given me an opportunity to rebuild my life and get a support, to get the right support, whether it's through mental health support, through my support worker, seeking accommodation, and obviously in due course I'd like to think that I am going to return back to work. I think ultimately the thing about coming in with Bass and Stonham gives everyone the chance to rehabilitate sensibly and to integrate as quickly as possible back into their area, into their surrounding area.
Probably the first is to have a stable place to live, be clean of drugs, and a good job. I think the first thing is obviously getting a place would help me to get a job, because obviously I need somewhere to live first.
I didn't actually think that I was going to be eligible for HDC. I think that's always a fear, I think for some prisoners. There were leaflets obviously dotted around. There was some in the library, some in the education block that were advertising the BAS facility. Obviously I looked at those a little bit enviously, thinking would I be eligible, and it was great to find out that one of the support workers in the prison came to me and actually said that you will be eligible.
To help me with my housing, to get on my benefits so I can get obviously the rent paid and start going to my meetings at Turning Point to get medicated really.
You get an opportunity as well to select where you want to be. I had a choice of two places of like Darlington or Consett, because I think the thing that pleased me more than anything as well is the speed that actually everything took place, you know, from the initial interview to actually coming out of prison and then obviously finding myself here in Darlington today. There was obviously a lot of apprehension when you come out of prison because you are a little bit unsure about what you're actually going to come to. I was advised that I'd be meeting my support worker here at the property in Darlington. He took me through a detailed induction, a brief overview of, you know, a support plan, what my expectations were of them and what they were going to give back to me. I also, obviously from BAS, we were given a support pack as well for our first day, which included obviously a mobile phone, we had bedding, we had some food, you know, and obviously a clean bed. And, you know, I would say, guess looking at that, looking at my bed there, it made me, you know, feel a lot more calm and a lot more relaxed. And that sort of gives you a bit of peace and it helps you relax. And obviously you don't feel intimidated about the fact that, you know, you've just come obviously from an institution into a home.
Definitely, because if not, they'd have to stay in prison. And when you actually are staying there, you've got somewhere stable to do courses, find somewhere to live. Starting an IT, maths and English course with potential for skills.
I think obviously everyone that comes through the BAS Stonham network, we all have very, very different needs. My biggest need primarily is obviously secure accommodation, to give myself the platform and the base that I can actually, you know, sensibly rebuild my life. The fact that you have a clean, safe, comfortable home to come through and the support network obviously definitely is there. Coming into BAS and coming in with Stonham, it just means that I've got a fair chance now to prove to everyone, but more importantly to myself, that I can rehabilitate and that I can rebuild my life, and that's important to me.
If you think you need BAS to support your bail application, talk to your bail information officer, personal or wing officer, solicitor or probation. If you are awaiting release on HDC, contact your personal or wing officer, HDC clerk or probation.